Hello, my name is Daniel and welcome to TechTekk. Today we're going through the Tesla updates from 2020.24.6.4 all the way to 2020.28.6. Order a Tesla today via the link in the description and you'll receive 1,000 free supercharge miles that you can use at any supercharger location. So as you can see right now, we're in 2020.28.6, and as you can see from the release notes, there's only been really one thing that has changed quite recently, and that's a new language support, which is great. But if we scroll down a little bit now, we've got our previous release notes, which would have been from 2020.24.6.4. So the first thing we have here is the backup camera improvements. So you can now view video streams coming from side to side, and it shows you in this sort of nice UI. So you can see the back like you have been able to do for a little while now, but you can also now see the sides. Now this is perfect for if you're in a parking space, you can see the white lines either side, or if you're trying to get into a tight garage, then you can see how close you are. They're really, really good. And later on in this video, we'll go into that into a bit more detail. You can also now see your dash cam viewer improvements. So if you've got Sentry mode on, you can go back within the UI here and you can see what happened. Before you weren't able to do this, and you actually had to download the footage onto your computer, and then that was the only way you could view it. So if you had an accident or if there was something in a car park that happened, unless you brought your computer with you, then you physically wouldn't be able to look at it. So it's great that they've now added the dashcam viewer and done that. Got some tuning improvements. It says with this update we've improved the usability and discoverability of tuning stations. So if you're a tune-in user, I'm not, I don't really use that. I do have the app on my phone actually, but I don't really use it. Then that's great for you. And you can adjust speed of the podcast up to 2 times, which I'm sure if you are a tune-in user and you've been using Tesla's products, then it's probably quite frustrating. Big one that is actually probably one of the biggest issues that I've faced is the walkway door lock improvements. This can be quite fiddly, and it's even more fiddly if you're like for instance in our scenario where myself and my partner, we both have our mobile phones, and that's how we used to get inside the Tesla. But when you walk away, it doesn't seem to lock. But what I have seen recently is that this has been improved, and we did make a slight tweak in terms of adding our own separate profiles on our phones, when before we were using the same login details, which I think could have got in the way of Tesla's understanding who's walked away from the car or not. Next up, we then have en route battery warm up. This will now precondition your battery when navigating to a third-party fast charging station, which is fantastic. A couple of updates ago, they enabled the option to see third-party chargers when before it was just a supercharger. So this is great that you can now select a third party and it preconditions just as it would if you were going to a supercharger. We've also got some new language support here again. You now can select Portuguese as your language, which again is great to bring the Tesla UI and the Tesla cars to more people around the world. So let's get straight into the backup camera and improvements. And if I click over here on the camera, you'll see this is how it's always looked. You can just see in the back. But now if you scroll up, and it does remember this when you scroll, so every time now you hit into reverse or you click to view the cameras, it will always show this. You can now see the side to side. So I can see that I'm parked next to my other car, and I can see the steps as I'm pulling up on the driveway. Now these steps are quite narrow, and they can, if you open at the wrong angle, I can hit my steps with the door, and I have done. a couple of chips on the side of the door. So it's great now as I'm pulling up and down, I can see what's going on here. So that's how the UI looks. I think it's quite nice. It would be nice if I could also swap these around. So maybe if I wanted the right or left, or I could tap on these and it would pop up here, just in case there is a close wall on a right. Especially if you go into some of the smaller car parks, you can have a pillar on your right or your left, and it's always nice to be able to see bigger than maybe behind, where it's easier to see in your rear view mirror. So that's that. I think that's fantastic. Now, looking at your dash cam viewer improvements, if I remember correctly, it's up here. So this is where it records. You can save footage if you want to, or you can launch the viewer. Oh, what's going on here? That's not supposed to happen. That was a bit weird. Anyway, we can now go back into a directory and you can see all of the recordings that have happened by clicking the All tab. You can either click then Sentry mode, which is things that have happened when you've been parked, or you can just do dash cam. Now I have enabled on this car, if I honk the horn, it will also record that snippet as a dash cam piece. So that's where it would show up here. But if we click on a Sentry mode and I don't know, let's go and have a look when we were at the Over Farm a couple of days ago. And if we now scrub at the bottom, it will show you a little red icon of what it thinks is a someone nearby your car walking past. And you can see from now, if I click in the rear, I can see that person walking past. And there you go, I can now see on the right, and if I click on the front, I can now see them walk past. I'll probably have to blur that out because he is carrying a very young child. But if we then go into now dash cam, we can see when we're up in where was that? Hynum. You can see me now following a car. I think I was probably in autopilot at this time as well. And we can click around the screen, we can see who's behind, you can see who's left or in the right mode. I guess what it would be nice, and I'm not sure if those cameras have audio, but in scenarios where maybe someone's breaking into your vehicle, it could be great to hear what they sound like, or if they're having a conversation about your car or something that they're going to do, then audio would be great here. I'm pretty sure, and I'll try it now, but I don't think, yeah, so that's just playing the radio. There's no audio on this viewer. But again, you can see all of the different ones. Here's one from actual 27th of October, where it's in the dark, and actually I'm just sat, the car's just sat on the driveway, so I don't actually know what's picked up there. But you can see it also works at night as well, which is great. Not so well in quite the darkness right at the front. We'll have to test on another video the en route to a third-party charger. I've actually not used a third-party charger at all in the Tesla Model 3. I've only ever used a supercharger if I've been out, or I've got the home charger here that I charge before I leave or overnight. So we'll have to do that as a separate video and see how that works, because again, that's something new to me, and I'm aware that they're not all the same cables, so I need to learn how all that works. I can definitely, and I've had this now for a couple of weeks, say the walkaway door lock improvements have improved a lot. They really work, and as soon as you walk away now, the horn will beep, and I know that is locked. So that is pretty much everything for this update. If there's anything I've missed, then do let me know, and I can go into more detail into that. There is apparently going to be another big update coming this month, which Elon has in the background sort of spoken about briefly. So as soon as that comes out, we will get straight out on the road, and we'll test whatever cool new features he has coming towards the Tesla Model 3. If you did enjoy this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you are new around here, why not consider subscribing, because we have plenty more videos on electric vehicles, autonomy and consumer tech. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.